Nun Massacre is by far one of Puppet Combo's scariest games, if not the scariest, and one of my favourites. Hello guys and gals, my name is Owen, and today we'll be diving into the lore of Nun Massacre. In Nun Massacre, you play as Miss MacDonald, searching for her daughter in an old nunnery, being constantly hunted down and chased by a psychopathic nun. Also, a quick shout out to 10th Basilisk 88 for helping with the theory crafting, and Serventos for recording the gameplay. Also, there will be some spoilers for Nun Massacre and the Bible, so I'll give you a few seconds to click off the video. 3, 2, 1, is everyone gone? Okay, cool. First we will analyse the nun as a character in Nun Massacre. Technically the nun is Mother Apollonia. We know this because in the beginning Miss MacDonald receives a letter from Mother Apollonia telling her to come to the nunnery to go and collect her sick daughter. One interesting thing to note is that the word Apollonia, I honestly can't say, I'm sorry, is the Greek feminine form of Apollo, meaning destroyer, very fitting for the nun's character, I'd say. Also, I will refer to her as the nun from now on. The nun is a tall white female dressed in an old-fashioned nun robe. She wears black leather gloves and wields a large butcher knife. Her eyes are gouged out, with a black liquid oozing from them. This is an important detail we will come back to later. It also appears that the nun is cunning and intelligent, being able to lure Miss MacDonald into the nunnery and setting up various traps. It also is clear that she has enhanced dexterity and knife skills, knowing how to turn Miss MacDonald into mincemeat in a few seconds. It also seems as though the nun is very durable, possibly because she doesn't really have a physical form and it's just a pigment of Miss MacDonald's imagination being a representation of the guilt for what she put her daughter through, but tangent aside, she also has the ability to throw up acidic vomit. A pretty random ability, but kind of funny I guess. Let the search begin. So, I searched Nun Massacre and looked for really anything that could be of use to me lore-wise. I didn't find anything that was that useful, apart from one thing in particular, the notes. This game's notes were crucial to the theory. One note in particular. This note reads as follows. Dear Diary, Mummy dropped me off at my new school. I'm going to miss my old friends. I brought Bongo with me though. We have a teacher named Sister Euphemia. She has an assistant named Sister Odelia. They're teaching us all about the saints and what wonderful lives they lived. Today we learned about Saint Lucy. Her eyes were put on a plate and she became a martyr. That's a weird word. Sister Euphemia said that her love for God saved her from the evil Romans that tried to hurt her. Sister Rose said that the Mother Apollyon, I can't say that name, is going to take care of us. So yeah, that's the all-important crucial note. The first thing to talk about is that the name Odelia has Hebrew origin, meaning praise God, which continues on with this game's religious theme, and the name Euphemia, deriving from Greek, means well-spoken, which makes sense as she is a teacher, and teachers do need to be well-spoken. But let's get to the part that is the most juicy in this note, and that is Saint Lucy. For those that skipped Sunday school like myself, Saint Lucy is the patron saint of the blind. Lucy was born in the year 283 AD in Sicily, Italy, on the 13th of December. Lucy was heavily religious from a young age, vowing to devote her life to Christ. Since the Romans hated people who followed Christian beliefs at that time, quickly word spread about her, and her punishment was derailment in a brothel. The year was 303 AD when the guards came to collect her. They couldn't move her, nor could a whole team of oxen. Realizing they couldn't move her, the guards were ordered to pile bundles of wood around her. However, the licking flames caused her no damage from the logs that were set ablaze. Angered, the guards gouged her eyes out, killing her. When her body was recovered for burial, her eyes had been restored to their previous statum, intact. After dying, she became known as a martyr. So yeah, that's a quick recap of St. Lucy's story. Now, let us take an even closer look at the nun. I believe that the nun is an alter ego of St. Lucy of sorts. Okay, so let's jump into this. It is already established that the nun is heavily religious, as seen with her harsh methods of teaching at the nunnery. Interestingly enough, St. Lucy was also heavily religious, pledging her life to God. Another curious similarity is that both the nun and St. Lucy have no eyes. In many biblical artworks, St. Lucy can be seen with a liquid of sorts draining from her eyes, just like the nun, and they both died in the fire, kind of. This is where I think the diversion between the two takes place. I believe that the nun symbolizes the unholy and evil alternate ego of St. Lucy, and/or Miss MacDonald's actions. In the good ending, actually I wouldn't call it good, I think better is a better word. In the better ending, Miss MacDonald finds the nun in a cage, whimpering in an empty room. Bongo the Clown is hanging from a chain watching the nun. Next, Miss McDonald grabs a can of gasoline and lights the nun ablaze. The nun screams in agony. Then Bongo the clown says, "You are forgiven," as a set of stairs leading into a blinding light appear. Miss McDonald goes up this staircase, and then the game abruptly ends. So, what do I think this means? I believe the burning nun is symbolic of two things. One, Miss McDonald is literally burning her sins out of her body. As previously I said, I believe the nun isn't actually real, and it's just in Miss McDonald's head. And two, that the nun is symbolic of St. Lucy burning. However, as we know, St. Lucy didn't die due to the flames. The thing that saved her from the flames was her devotion to God, charitable nature, and sticking up for Christianity when her beliefs were challenged by the Romans. The symbolism behind the nun dying in the fire is that the nun wasn't faithful enough, nor were her devotion to God or morals high enough. For God's sake, she psychologically abused, physically abused, tortured, murdered, raped, and mutilated little children. Of course she wouldn't be saved by God. A few more final things that I find interesting are that in the beginning of the game, Miss McDonald cannot enter her daughter's room, giving the prompt, "I do not need to go in here." This could mean a number of things. Inside the room is the same Bongo the Clown doll that her daughter supposedly took to school with her. This could just maybe be a memory, or Miss McDonald is afraid of Bongo. In the previous video, link in the description, I theorized that Bongo was actually possessed by Miss McDonald's daughter's spirit, and possibly Miss McDonald was terrified to even go near it, which is why she will not go in the room. Another strange thing is a shaved ghostly girl runs away from Miss McDonald at one point in the nunnery. And even more interestingly, in one of Miss McDonald's daughter's notes, she talks about how she was shaved and hated it and hurt all over. What if the nunnery is some kind of purgatory for Miss McDonald? I think this theory I found online sums up what I think very well. The nun is nothing but Miss McDonald's fanatical alter ego, and she was the one who subjected her daughter to physical and psychological suffering. This theory is reinforced by the fact that in the beginning, at Miss McDonald's home, we can open her daughter's room near the bathroom, where the aforementioned clown doll is present, while the heroine herself refuses to come into the room, as if struck by guilt and fear. According to her diary, she had Bongo with her all along after her mother dropped her off at school. Yet, according to the notes, Miss McDonald's daughter hasn't seen her mother since being dropped off at the school, making the presence of Bongo in the protagonist's house strange and suspicious. Adding to that theory, why would Miss McDonald's child run away from their own mother, even if they were trapped in a horrible nunnery? I feel like I just want to go into the arms of my mother. There is no reason why she wouldn't run into the arms of Miss McDonald, unless she truly did something horrible to her in the first place. So yeah, that's what I think about it at least. I believe that the nun, St. Lucy, and Miss McDonald are definitely linked in some kind of way, be that symbolism, guilt, or actions. I had loads of fun making and researching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please consider liking the video, it only takes a second, and will stop the algorithm from hating me so much. Only 15% of my viewers are subscribed after all, so if you're feeling generous, please consider subscribing today. I'd love to hit 25 subs. Okay, this is like recording me now, editing the video, and we've hit 26 subs already. Thank you so much. Maybe we can hit one more if you're feeling generous. Feel free to comment down below any other topics you'd like me to theorize about, or visit next. Be that related to Puppet Combo, or any other horror or mystery related stuff. My name is Owen, I've been your host today, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.